Was he already talked about the Twitter thing? You talking about everything that happened last night? Yeah. I tried to catch up because during stream, everyone was talking about it going down. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. It just seems like tons and tons of employees aren't coming in after the ultimatum, which I think will eventually have a pretty detrimental effect, but it's not going to shut it down overnight. I really do not think Elon can afford that platform for a very long time. He's down 44 bill off just the initial purchase and the $13 billion loan that he's going to have to pay interest on over the years. That's a lot of money that platform needs to make, and Twitter Blue is a huge flop. Like an actual massive flop. So I don't know how the fuck he manages to keep bleeding money like that for an extended period of time. He's also fired over half the staff now, and then another large chunk has left on their own accord. I don't think Twitter needs a ton of employees, though. They clearly weren't benefiting from it because the platform was dog shit even before he bought it. I'm just curious how he's going to plan to like improve it or make big changes when the workforce isn't really there for him anymore. You shit on Elon for firing a bunch of people. I shit on Elon for a lot of things, some very silly stuff. That wasn't one of them. I said it's stupid to fire like 80% of the workforce when you already don't have a clue on what you're doing in the first place. I think that's stupid. But I've said from the very get-go it's a bloated company, so it makes sense to start trimming it down a bit. It's not like having all those people on staff was doing the platform any good. Facebook doing it too. Facebook doing it too. Amazon doing it too. Yep. Expecting people to work 80-hour weeks is ridiculous. Yeah, the ask is huge, but there's going to be people there that'll do it. And he knows that. Also, I'm pretty sure this is still holding true. I read a report from the Wall Street Journal, I think it was, that he's currently looking for someone else to run Twitter, so that way he's not as hands-on. I think that's fucking adorable. He's already like, yeah, this is a bit much. Someone else do it for me. I think that's fucking amazing. I don't know if it's changed over the last, like 48 hours since that came out, but that put a big smile on my face. He runs like 5 other companies. Yeah, he's got his finger in a lot of pies. I don't know why he thought that taking on this project was going to be something he could feasibly do. All he does is shitpost. He never planned to run Twitter. He said that before he bought it. Must have missed that then. Previous Twitter management didn't believe in profit. It's just a hard platform to monetize in general, man. It's not like Elon's doing a better job of it. But he's definitely taking steps to try and make money, even though a lot of them are fucking misguided. That Twitter Blue, not only is it a dumb idea, but it was a huge flop. The highest estimate was 440,000 Twitter Blue subscribers. Even if you round that to half a mil and $8 a month, that gives you $4 million a month in income. That pays for a single day of operational cost, because Elon reported that they lose $4 million a day. So it was a flop. It was a stupid idea. It's pretty bad. And they've lost a lot of advertisers as of now, so they're not in a great spot. But him getting rid of a lot of employees, I don't think was a bad idea. Twitter doesn't need 7,500 employees or whatever it was. They clearly weren't doing much because the platform was turbo ass even before Elon. But I also think publicly shitting on them and then firing them when they defend themselves publicly is very weak. That's a very weak chin. Imagine paying for a check mark. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing. It's exactly as everyone knew it would be. If you see anyone with a check mark on Twitter, the replies to it are always one of 2 memes. The pointing and saying this motherfucker paid for Twitter, or some variation of -8 lol. It's so good. The most predictable outcome ever. It is actually just a humiliation badge. I really don't know how you monetize Twitter. People keep asking me, how do you monetize it? I have no fucking clue. I don't have the answer. That's probably the hardest platform ever to monetize. There are ads on Twitter, but they're shit. You probably don't even notice that there's ads on Twitter because you see it and immediately scroll right by it. Not everything needs to be monetized. He paid 44 billion for it, man. It has to be it's what do you mean not every You're right. Not everything needs to be monetized. It is a fucking massive platform. They can't just run it at billions upon billions of dollars in loss. Where is that money going to come from? The government. I guess we could try and like rewrite the Constitution and make Twitter a God-given right so that way it's protected and the government will step in and make sure it exists even without making money. We could try. We could try and let that shit rip. Aren't you doing the same with Moist Esports? On a much smaller scale though. Like all the money I lose on Moist Esports is money Twitter is losing every second. And that's different though. That's like a pure passion thing. And eventually I would like it to make money through like in-game item sales or merch sales. Like that'd be great so it's not always out of my pocket, but it doesn't bother me that it is. Twitter is Elon's passion. I mean, maybe you're right. He could let it run red if he wants. I'm not his accountant. I don't give a fuck. If he wants to dunk another 20 bill into the shitter, by all means. It matters not to me. I'll just sit here and laugh. People really think billionaires are smart, but then you see Elon who literally bought Twitter. I feel like there is definitely some level of skill required, even though people like every single billionaire pretty much was born wealthy and just turned that wealth into more wealth. I still think there is some level of understanding of shit to make that work. But they were all very fortunate with their spawn. Like they all got a very favorable spawn, a lot of money, so they had a lot to play with. But yeah, they're not immune to making absolutely batshit stupid fucking decisions. The financial skill gap is crazy. True, man, that RNG was nuts. People always talk about Elon like he came from nothing and built everything himself, which is so fucking far removed from reality, it's laughable. There is currently no billionaire that I'm aware of, except for the 5-hour energy guy, who is an actual saint. Aside from him, I don't think there's any billionaire that didn't come from wealth in some way or another. I could be wrong because I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but all the ones I can think of had some head start. Kanye's not a billionaire anymore, that doesn't work. Oprah? Is Oprah a billionaire? That'd be news to me. Here, how about we rectify this statement then? We'll revise it. The vast, overwhelming majority of billionaires had a remarkable head start with the amount of money they had to begin with. How about that? Mr. Beast is not a billionaire. The valuation on all of his businesses is over $1 billion. That does not mean he is a billionaire. He does not have $1 billion at his disposal. What someone's worth isn't necessarily what they have. And I also don't know if he got that $1 billion valuation. Who's the 5-hour energy guy? Oh, this guy is such a fucking saint. I've sucked his dick so many times. This is like the only CEO I think actually does meaningful stuff with his $1 billion. What was the article? I won't even bother pulling up the article. I'll just go to like the general. Where is it? Yep. So he's for a long time, even when I was in high school, he's been giving away all of his money to anything that he thinks can help the world benefit in multiple ways. I've never read anything bad about any of his investments or anything that he's putting his money towards. It really seems like he does a lot of the work himself and puts his billions into actual actual good, wholesome, world-changing causes. Like this guy legitimately does very good stuff from everything I've ever read. I don't know if it's changed over the years, but I remember even in high school, this guy was doing some really impressive stuff. So he seems like a good guy. Have to do some morally awful stuff to become a billionaire. I'd normally agree, but from pretty much everything I read about this guy, he really didn't. He made 5-hour energy drink, and he never intended for it to be anything popular. This dude legitimately just created this, and it blew up. Straight up. I never read anything about him exploiting anyone or fucking anyone in the ass or anything like that. Like this, I really don't think this guy did anything like awful to become what he did. Now, maybe information has changed. I have no idea. I really don't. But I've kept in since around high school, and it's always just been good stuff from this guy. Putin is a self made billionaire. Alright.